I think it's quite timely to talk about foreign direct investment and export promotion if we consider that Deputy CEO of Enterprise Georgia is our next guest speaker on the show. FDI in Georgia amounted to USD was around 237.8 million in the second. I'm talking about the preliminary data of the existing year, up just 0.5% from the adjusted data of Q2 2019. The shares of FDI by major foreign direct investor countries were distributed as follows. The United Kingdom, it was roughly 25%, Netherlands around 22%, and Turkey 13.3%. The share of FDI by the three major economic sectors reached 57% in Q2 of 2020. The largest share of FDI was registered in the financial sector, reaching 78.1 million US dollars in the second quarter. The energy sector was the second with around 30 million US dollars, followed by the construction sector around 28 million US dollars. As for exports, Georgia's external trade turnover amounted to 6 billion in January-July 2020, which is a decrease of 17.6% compared to the same period of the last year, show preliminary data from Geostat, National Statistics Office of Georgia. The value of export decreased by 16.8%, reaching 1.75 billion US dollars, while imports also decreased around 18% and amounted to 4.27 billion US dollars. The trade deficit was equal to 2.51 billion US dollars, and its share in trade turnover came to 41.7%. These figures show clearly what a tough job is for Enterprise Georgia to meet its extant obligations amidst COVID-19 reality. What are some achievements and challenges to this point? Mr. Tornike Zirakishvili, Deputy CEO of Enterprise Georgia, SME Development, Export Promotion and Foreign Direct Investment Attraction, will tell us more that this week, with the support of USAID, Enterprise Georgia organized the first tour for experienced location investment consultants from Germany, US, and the Baltic region. So many thanks for your time. Pleasure to host you. Another TV project. By the way, your boss was our first guest speaker. By the time I had the pleasure hosting him with Zirakishvili. So Tornike, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. So let's proceed. We had a brief talk just maybe 2 months ago. If I remember, it was for Forbes Kvida, for our special TV project. But right now, what we can deliver as a message is what is the update, which is happening maybe on a weekly basis and happening maybe daily. We don't know. That's why you are here to update how and which directions you've updated or transformed, and what is the latest status of the program produced in Georgia.
Thank you so much again for the invitation. Of course, we strongly believe that the activities of the agency have never been more broader than they are today. So we have to start with the credit guarantee scheme, which, as you know, has been expanded. And one of the key factors there is that the business has responded very well to this mechanism. So we already have more than 40 cases of business actually using this credit mechanism, which is a quite strong showing considering the period that we were actually going through. With this,
confirmed by the participations of the commercial banks and
of course,
all the stakeholders.
This is exactly actual businesses which have actually used this program already. So it's quite a strong showing, and we already have a message from the banks that this mechanism will be granted further and they will actually use it up more and more often. So which is a very strong showing, and it's a very good idea for us to probably expand on that program even further in terms of businesses to participate in it. We have the same type of showing in our industrial directions as well. So the key factor there was, will the business respond? Will they still keep delivering? And that's what we have today. We have more than 29 projects, almost 30 projects, new projects which have launched through our enterprise support program. So again, a very strong showing there. And one of the surprises even to us was hotels program, which was we actually have a new 9 hotels which have applied for co-financing of the loans, and we have approved them already. So that means that hospitality industry is planning and will rebound very quickly as well.
You approved another 9 projects in hospitality and especially hotels?
All new hotels, of 9 of them actually have already been approved. So again, that
banks
shows...
are, as usual, part of this deal.
As it seems, of course. I mean, that without their approval would not make a decision. So for sure, they're part of this deal, and we could expect that that number should grow accordingly. At the same time, we have a support program running for hotels, as you already know, where we co-finance now up to 12 months of their loan amount. So with that regard, we already have more than 1,000 hotels which are using this scheme. So it's very strong showing there as well that we understand that that mechanism was very helpful for the hospitality industry to take advantage of and kind of go through this critical period and again rebound as soon as tourism comes back. During
this period, you as responsible for direction, Invest in Georgia as well, you have that's what I really know, daily communication with various of investors, but some of them we had a chance to face in Georgia personally as well. It was happening during last days as well. So could you brief us about roughly portfolio, about those personalities or companies who fixed their interest that Georgia is a place where they could, I don't know, just fix their business interest as well for further development of operations?
Of course, our outreach programs for Invest in Georgia have also been expanded. As you know, considering that Georgia was a green zone earlier than most of the other countries, we started our outreach programs right away. So today we have more than 200 letters which we have sent out to investors to try to spark their interest in Georgia, and we already are getting good feedback between their responses, between the e-meetings we have with them. And as you mentioned, we actually have had visits from investors already taking place, which was a very strong showing, which sometimes even we didn't expect it for them to respond so quickly, but that is very good news. What is particularly interesting is right now we have location advising consulting companies visiting Georgia. There's 3 of them represented, one from the United States, one from Germany, and the other colleague is from Estonia. And these are the companies who actually consult investors on where to go. These companies actually are quite interesting because they make up a huge chunk of investors' decision making. So according to different reports, sometimes they represent about 30% of the decisions internationally which are taken by investors have involvement of this type of companies in it. So working with them is a very strong opportunity for Georgia to take advantage of this. And we have to highlight this is the first time they're visiting Georgia, so they didn't have any information about us before now. This will be expanded again. In October, we're planning to host 3 more individuals, and then in April, again, we're planning to host another 4 or 5.
As we both agreed in the beginning of our conversation, everything is changing maybe on the daily basis. Can you fix or just announce, can we might face some additional changes or expand of various programs? You mentioned about credit insurance directions, that the message is so much positive from the private sector, especially from banks, that you are thinking that 40 existing beneficiaries is just the beginning. So, and do you plan any new activities, what we might see in the nearest future?
So this is an everlasting analysis process within our part of the departments. We work with associations, we work with banks, we work with the government, and how we see the outlook of the situation, as well as what we see as new and upcoming sectors. I think one of the very interesting sectors that we actually found was marine fishing, which we actually now are guaranteeing. Fishing, yeah. So we now are guaranteeing fishing ships with credit guarantee scheme as well as loan co-financing scheme. So that gave us an opportunity to actually find and expand on a very interesting sector. Of course, we funded the first laboratory as well from our scheme as well. So we even ourselves, through analysis, we're actually discovering new sectors, not only existing ones which will need help. But of course, this is an ever communication and ever analysis process which we need to do again on daily basis because the situation always changes. So I would not expect changes being there, considering that we added 6 months already to the hotels program because we saw that was what needed at that time.
While it's, and I fully agree, why it's endless and why its situation is changing constantly, I will count on our further communication in the nearest future as well. And wish you good luck, Tornike.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you for being with us.